The Lizard King. A rebel with a cause. Jim Morrison. The name alone conjures images of rebellion, poetry, and raw, unadulterated rock and roll. As the frontman of The Doors, Morrison captivated audiences with his powerful vocals, enigmatic stage presence, and lyrics that explored the darkest corners of the human psyche. He was a true original, a poet disguised as a rock star who challenged societal norms and pushed the boundaries of artistic expression. Born in Melbourne, Florida in 1943, Morrison developed an early fascination with literature, philosophy, and the occult. These interests would later infuse his music, creating a unique blend of intellectualism and primal energy. The Doors, formed in Los Angeles in 1965, quickly rose to fame with their psychedelic sound and Morrison's electrifying performances. They released hit after hit, including Light My Fire, Break On Through, To the Other Side, and Riders on the Storm. Morrison became a countercultural icon, his lyrics resonating with a generation yearning for freedom and self-expression. However, his wild lifestyle and increasingly erratic behavior soon overshadowed his music. He became notorious for his confrontational stage antics, fueled by alcohol and a desire to provoke and challenge his audience. This desire to break free from societal constraints would culminate in a now infamous concert in Miami, an event that would forever alter the course of Morrison's life and cement his legacy as a true rock and roll outlaw. Miami Meltdown. The night Morrison confronted censorship. March 1st, 1969. The air was thick with anticipation as the Doors took the stage at the Dinner Key Auditorium in Miami. The crowd, a writhing mass of youthful energy, had come to witness the band that had become synonymous with rebellion and psychedelic exploration. Little did they know, they were about to experience a concert that would go down in rock and roll infamy. From the moment Morrison appeared, it was clear that this was no ordinary performance. Dressed in black leather, his hair a tangled mane, he stalked the stage with an almost feral intensity. The music pulsed, a hypnotic blend of blues, rock, and psychedelia, as Morrison's voice, a raw and powerful instrument, soared above the roar of the crowd. As the set progressed, the atmosphere grew increasingly charged. The combination of alcohol, heat, and Morrison's own volatile personality created a sense of unpredictable energy. Then, it happened. During a particularly intense song, Morrison began to unravel, his movements becoming increasingly erratic, his words slurring into incoherence. Accounts vary as to what exactly transpired that night. Some witnesses claim that Morrison, in a moment of drunken abandon, exposed himself to the crowd. Others maintain that he merely simulated the act, using suggestive language and gestures to provoke a reaction. Regardless of the specifics, one thing is certain. The Miami concert became a chaotic and controversial event that would have far-reaching consequences for Jim Morrison and the Doors. We couldn't hear ourselves play. The aftermath of the outrage. The aftermath of the Miami concert was swift and brutal. News of the alleged indecent exposure spread like wildfire, fueled by sensationalized media reports and outraged calls for censorship. The Doors, once hailed as pioneers of psychedelic rock, were now branded as purveyors of obscenity, their music blacklisted from radio stations across the country. Fans were divided. Some defended Morrison, viewing his actions as a legitimate form of artistic expression or a harmless prank blown out of proportion. Others felt betrayed, their image of the charismatic frontman shattered by his reckless behavior. The band members themselves were shocked by the intensity of the backlash. Keyboardist Ray Manzarek later recalled the chaos of the Miami concert, stating, "We couldn't hear ourselves play. The PA system was terrible, and the crowd was out of control. It was a recipe for disaster." Guitarist Robbie Krieger expressed similar sentiments, noting that the band was caught up in the moment and that Morrison's actions were not intended to be malicious. The Miami incident had a profound impact on the Doors, both personally and professionally. Faced with mounting legal pressure and public scrutiny, they struggled to regain their footing. Their next album, Morrison Hotel, marked a departure from their earlier psychedelic sound, embracing a raw, blues-influenced style that reflected the turmoil of the time. Despite the controversy, the Doors remained a potent force in the world of rock music. However, the shadow of the Miami concert continued to loom large, casting a long and ultimately tragic shadow over Jim Morrison's life and career. The trial. Did he or didn't he? The Miami concert trial became a media circus, amplifying the controversy around Jim Morrison. The prosecution built a case on eyewitness accounts and grainy photos. Morrison denied the charges, claiming misinterpretation. His lawyers argued for First Amendment protection. The trial became a cultural flashpoint. Fans rallied, proclaiming his innocence. The jury found Morrison guilty of indecent exposure. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison. The trial marked a turning point, solidifying his countercultural status. Jim Morrison never did time in jail. Despite the guilty verdict, he remained free while his case was under appeal. The pressures of fame and the legal battles took a toll on him. Seeking solace, Morrison moved to Paris with his girlfriend, Pamela Corson. He continued to write poetry and explore the city, but the shadows of his past were never far behind. On July 3, 1971, at 27, Jim Morrison was found dead in his apartment. The official cause was heart failure, but the exact circumstances remain a mystery. To his fans, he was more than a rock star. He was a poet, a rebel, and an icon. His legacy continues to inspire new generations. Though he is gone, his voice and message live on. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep the music alive.